Hey friends, Bedros here. Hope you're doing great. We're just coming off of the Memorial Day weekend, and I wanted to shoot this video especially for those of you who might have had the experience of hanging out with some of you, or maybe some of your more negative friends in your life. Maybe they're friends, maybe they're family members. Who knows, man? Could be the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the spouse, right? Could be the siblings. I don't know. But if we're coming off a holiday, odds are you were probably hanging out with people. And if you were hanging out with people and there were negative people in that circle of influence that you have, then maybe it's time you do something about it. And here's why. If you've got a gift, if you've got a passion, if you've got a purpose, odds are you want to have a clear head and a clear heart so that you can take massive action, right? Because you want clarity, so that you can take massive action. And how are you going to have clarity if you have negative people in your life who are energy vampires, who are dream killers, right? I should say dream slayers. And so oftentimes what ends up happening is we have these goals and passions and purpose that we want to change people or change lives or make more income or make a bigger impact, but we never cut out the negativity in our life that acts like a ball and chain, an anchor that kind of drags you down. It drags your creativity down. It drags your imagination down. And if you're that person, you've got these negative people in your life. Well, let me tell you a little story about the crabs in your life. Here's how it goes. Years ago, we were on a family cruise to Ketchikan, Alaska, and there was a man who was crab fishing. We were walking around when the boat docked, and there was a man that was crab fishing. He throws his net out into the water, and of course he'd wait a while and he'd pull in small crabs, big crabs, whatever. And he had this 5-gallon paint bucket that was empty. It had a little bit of water in it, and by the time we walked around town and came back, there was probably about 5 or 6 crabs in there, the bottom of this 5-gallon paint bucket. And what was interesting to me is as I looked inside his paint bucket, I saw that there was one ambitious crab that was crawling on top of all the other crabs and reaching up for the rim of the bucket. And as I reminded this guy, like, hey man, you're about to lose one of your crabs here that you worked so hard to get. He said, actually, just watch and pay attention to what happens next. And I kid you not, man, all the other crabs at the bottom of that bucket reached up and pulled that crab down, that ambitious crab. And right then and there, I realized that I have people that are negative in my life. I have crabs in my life. And I might be that ambitious crab trying to make a run for it, trying to share my gift, my purpose, my passion. But unless I get rid of the negative crabs, or people in this case, in our lives, we tend to stay at the same place, have our dreams, but never really realize the full potential of our dreams, right? And so I figured out there's one of two things you can do, and I'm going to share that with you. And I'm a pretty vigilant person, and so I went through and I did this, and you might think it's a little extreme, but hey, it's worked for me. I've got a pretty darn good life, and I get to serve hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. And so you're either going to eliminate these people out of your life, and I'm not talking about killing them either. You're just going to completely disconnect from them. And if you can't disconnect from them, then you're going to limit exposure. And I got to tell you, there's dear friends of mine from high school and from when I was younger that I had to just eliminate exposure to because they were negative. They complained about the economy. They complained about the government, the laws. They complained how everything was set up against them to make them poor and broke. How in the hell am I going to achieve any kind of level of success in life if I first go to these guys, hang out with them for a night or two, right? And then go and try and dominate my path? There's no way I can dominate my path when I have this type of negativity in my life. And so I cut out some dear friends of mine who I realized that I had simply outgrown, or maybe they had outgrown me. It doesn't matter. But I know that our paths had gone two separate ways, yet I kept staying latched on because, well, we had history. Guess what? History is just that, man. It's history. If you're on a new path, you're on a new purpose, then you've got to hang out with new people who motivate you, inspire you, and push you up, right, towards your goals, passions, gifts. Now, like I said, if you can't eliminate these people, then you've got to do the next best thing. Guess what that next best thing is? You've got to have an edited relationship, right? You've got to have an edited relationship, and maybe it's family, maybe it's siblings, maybe it's your mom and dad. I don't know. Maybe they come from a different generation. Maybe they just had bad experiences in their life, and those bad experiences are haunting them, and they want the best for you, but because of that, they stifle your growth. Guess what? You've got to have what's known as an edited relationship with them. That's right, an edited relationship. You got to keep things real superficial. Don't share your dreams and passions and purpose with them. Instead, share it with people who are going to inspire you, motivate you, push you along, hold you accountable. And when you do this, when you eliminate the crabs or limit your exposure to the crabs, then you're going to see that you're going to make strides, leaps and bounds, strides forward. You're going to help more people and ultimately dominate the path that you're meant to dominate. I'll see you later.